Good evening. Welcome to Yoga with Liza, week 7. Today is August 16th, southeastern Pennsylvania. And went into town, my local store and local health food store. And people out front were talking about um, the spotted lanternfly. And good evening, Cindy. I had not realized what an issue this is in this area. Um, they were walking around with what looked like a toy water gun, but it fired little puffs of salt. And I thought, this is really very interesting. Well, apparently, the spotted lanternfly secretes this sticky honey like material and it attracts other insects. And then it turns into a black mold. So, salt, I could see preventing maybe some of that chain reaction if you're shooting at it. Um, and I don't like to kill things, but since that time, I've killed 2 spotted lanternflies and I've identified some eggs out on the trees. Posted lots of videos on my timeline about the spotted lanternfly, and so that is my um, plant tree essence insect animal awareness. Is this has the potential of um, very much changing the ecosystem in southeastern Pennsylvania. And apparently, they were first found in Berks County, farm country, several years ago. And the quarantine map area of where they know that they are is continuing to spread. So, we're going to say prayers for the world in just a little bit. I am going to say good evening to my grandchildren, Ricky, Angela, Wyatt, Connor, Henry, and Jace, Cora, Ava, Maya, Braylon, Harper, uh, Manny, Zenaida, Kyra, blanking out on Manny's big brother. I guess he's too old for me to list now. Um, Emrys, and Skylar, and anybody who I left out or forgot, forgive me, because the circle of kids, we would be standing here for half hour if I mentioned every single name and everybody in my neighborhood, and you all know who you are. And so tonight we're going to come through some gentle stretches with the kids, and I'm starting with the sun. And I purposely breathe in and breathe out, guys. Feel that sun pose. And then bring our arms up overhead so my hands are coming together. And then I'm going to arch over to the side in a crescent moon. And inhale back up and arch over to the other side in a crescent moon. And then come back to center. Let my hands come out. I'm going to shake them out. Shake them out as I step wide. Bring the palms up. Feel our star. Bend the elbows, bring the heels in, come into our cloud. From our cloud, inhale back up. Gently come over to the side. Pick up that right knee, bring it out, and let's come up into our tree. Breathing into it. And then bring that right foot down, pick the left foot up, and bring the foot in, coming into tree on the other side. And then bring that foot down, and I am just going to move this frame over because it's distracting me horribly there. And we're going to come down, wide leg squat or ladybug. And for those of you who do not do this pose, feel free to modify and simply bring yourself down onto the mat. This is Wyatt's favorite pose. And bringing our hands out, and we're going to do Henry's favorite pose. We're going to come into downward dog. Those of you who don't want to do downward dog, you can inhale cat-cow or plant the toes and push back downward dog. This is for you, Henry. And bring the knees back to the mat. Shift the feet over and feel this gentle twist. And bring the feet back around. Coming gently into the twist. And if you're pregnant, maybe keep your hands on your knees. Your body's being twisted by your feet coming back behind. So tonight, for one of my neighbors and a daughter-in-law's sister and whoever else may be out there who's practicing with us, come on back to center and happens to also be pregnant, I decided that I would be adding in some of these modifications and bringing our hands back behind. Inhale, lift up, come down, gently bring the feet out, and let the knees come out to the side. And then bring the knees in together. Bring that right foot out, left foot over. Again, if you're pregnant, keep your feet to the center and not twisting as far, just the upper body as opposed to the whole torso. And bring that left foot out, bring the right foot in, and gentle. And then coming back to center, letting our knees come into easy cross leg. And Ricky, if you hang out after meditation, We will do your favorite pose and do the boat. And Connor, we will do your favorite pose at the very end, Savasana, where we stretch out onto the mat. And Connor's 3 weeks old, so that's why Savasana is his pose. Maybe he's 4 at this point. So I'm bringing the world out for world meditation. And yes, this is ever more important. I have mentioned about the spotted lanternfly. And typically I try and stay away from the news. But I have learned so much about them in the last 3-4 days, looking at different YouTubes and Pennsylvania Department of Agriculture's website, how important it is for us to spread the word and educate our friends and neighbors, that we need to be very vigilant in trying to eradicate this species that doesn't belong here. And yeah, that really is kind of not yogic kind of thinking. So I've been struggling with all of this. And so we're going to bring the light to the world and shining the light out on the world. And Luna's here, she's all ready for this. And asking that we be shown what is for the highest good of all, or the highest good for most, and to keep working with that. Sending out love, sending out Reiki, that of the highest good, intentions. Show us what we could do to help the world and the environment in an ethical, loving manner. And releasing this back, and I'm putting the world back under my candle here, and gently bringing the opposite leg in and behind, and gently continuing on our gentle flow. And the new moon, I believe, is on Tuesday, sometime this coming week. So I am choosing not to do sun salutations this week. I'm gently turning my head from side to side as I'm chattering, coming to center, looking down at the mat, and inhaling, looking up at the ceiling. Open and close the mouth. Close the mouth and swallow, bringing our chin back to chest. Back to center, bring the arms to the side. Bring them right ear to the right shoulder. Coming all the way back through center. Left ear to the left shoulder. Coming back to center. Bring that left hand over to the right thigh. I try and keep my hands back away from my knees so that I'm not putting pressure on the joint. I want to put it on the solid bone. That femur is the strongest bone in the body. Bringing it back around. Coming all the way back through center. Bring the right hand over to the left. And gently look back over that left shoulder. Coming back to center, bring our knees in, and Luna's blocking my feet that way, so I'll come in this direction. So those of you who have seen me in class during the week, this has been my theme, and we're going to add in a little core tonight. So sitting on the sit bones, and option to hold the back of the thighs, option to bring the hands out to the side. And my toes are to the mat, my heels are up off of the mat. Now, heel, heel, toe, toe, 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 heel, heel, toe, toe. Reverse, opposite heel, heel, toe, toe. 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 Ready. Heels, toes, heels, toes, heels, toes, heels, toes, heels, toes, heels, toes. Bring it over. And I'm bringing my armpit to the top of my knee. And my arms are stretching down. So this is a seated version of Happy Infant. So if you were to grab your toes and roll onto your back, you would be in Happy Infant. And breathing into it, toes are straight ahead, feeling the breath. Maybe it's a simple inhale, exhale. Maybe coming into Ujjayi Pranayama, the ocean hushing sound. Breathing into it. and roll it back up. Bring the soles of the feet in together. Feel our cobbler. Bring the knees back in. We're going to come back to cobbler when we do Supta Baddha Konasana. So let's come around and do a gentle stretch out of tabletop. And bring that right foot straight back. Push back through the heel. Feel the release. Maybe you pick up that left knee if you want some core. Or keep the left knee in the mat if you're here for stretching. Breathing into it. And then bring that right foot all the way out in front. And maybe you have blocks, maybe not. But as you come up into your low lunge, keep your fingertips so that they're up off of the mat. And exhale, come down, straighten that right leg. Kneeling pyramid. Walk it back up. Bring that right knee back behind. Bringing the blocks to either side. Come back. Bring the left foot straight back. Stretch it through the mat. Pick up that right knee. Picking up that right knee is an option. Bring the right knee back down to the mat. One more time, release through the back. And then bring that left leg all the way through center, out in front. Pick up the right knee coming into low lunge. Maybe you use your blocks, maybe you're using your core. Holding in low lunge, so we're not coming all the way up. This is a core pose without the back bend, and can use the arms to help with our balance. Bring the right knee down. Left leg comes straight out in front for our kneeling pyramid. You can bring the heel around in a circle, heel toe. Gently bring that left leg back behind. And yes, yes, I'm putting in a dolphin plank tonight just because. Bring it back. This is such a good pose for the whole body. You can bring your knees to the mat at any time or hold in dolphin plank. Bringing it down, feel our sphinx. Elbows under the shoulders, fingers wide, breathing into it. Great big lion's breath roar. And one more great big lion's breath roar. Gently bring the hands back behind. Push ourselves back into tabletop. Feel our cow and our cat and our cow and cat. Bring the toes together. Push back wide. Bring the forehead to the mat. Gently walk it back. Bring the fingertips around. And one more time, great big roar. Bring our hands back. Maybe you bring yourself 1 foot at a time, standing up. Maybe you push yourself back again into wide leg squat. I think she's looking at the shadows on the wall. Bringing the hands in. Again, gentle option. Step out in front. Inhale, bring it all the way up. Gently, one more time, feel our star. Now, as we look to the right, bring the left palm down. And reverse. And reverse. 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 Come back to center. Let the hands come all the way back behind. Yoga Mudra. Look up to the ceiling. Weight is even between the heels and the toes. Open and close. Hinge at the waist. Gently roll forward. You're a good girl. Yes, you are. Come on back to center. Shift and bring that right knee out in front. Option to put pressure into our palms, make it tight. And I'm just doing some ankle circles here because it feels just oh so wonderful. And bring that right foot down and lift up the left. And gentle circles, point and flex, point and flex. Gentle circles. And bring that left foot back to the mat. And back behind, pencil point. Bend that right knee, left arm comes up. Maybe the foot comes in. Quad stretch, breathing into it. Bring the right foot down. Shift it over, right arm up. Bend that left knee, bring it back in. Gently breathing into it. And release. One more time, gentle twist from side to side. Now, if you don't already have them, maybe grab your bolsters or blankets. I am going to get my bolster. And I'm going to bring myself into, we're going to come down onto the mat. And let's come into a supported bridge. Option, you can hold a muscular bridge without any support for a full 5 minutes. And think what an intense, gentle core piece that would be. So option number one, as you come down onto the mat, however you get here, it doesn't have to look pretty tonight. The choreography is a little bit of back and forth, but I wanted to do a little more movement tonight versus just the restore. And so now we're coming into the restore piece. So I'm coming down onto the mat, and for me, I like to use the block for my restorative bridge. You could use a bolster, a blanket, or as I said, just your muscles, and push your big toes down into your mat in your hand. And we're going to hold this pose for 5 minutes. So think how intense this is going to be on your core if we hold it for 5 minutes and you're holding it with your muscles. Set, go. I'm timing. My clock says 8:34, which means we're going to go till 8:39 in this pose and breathe into it. And if you're pregnant, this may not be, maybe a pose that you maybe choose not to do unless you've been doing it since before you were pregnant. Um, and then as your body changes, you will feel, okay, I've been in this pose long enough. So maybe you come onto your left side for recovery pose if you're pregnant, which is simply laying on your left side with a bolster or a blanket in front of you so that you can prop your arms up on top of that. Gently take that block out, or if you were holding this with your muscles, Nina, I bet you held this for 5 minutes. Exhale, bring all the way down to the mat. Now, gently heel toe the feet out and let your knees drop over to the right. And then come all the way back through center and let the knees drop over to the left. And yes, I'm opposite. And then coming back to center and gently roll over on the right side. Unless you're pregnant, then you go to the left and gently come up. And I'm going to do Supta Baddha Konasana with the bolster. And the bolster upright, if you prefer to do it with your back flat on the mat and the bolster under your legs, by all means, feel free to do so. But since I'm doing a little bit of mini in-servicing, once you're past 3-4 months of pregnancy, really don't want to be flat on your back and on your right side for an extended period of time, because that puts the weight of the baby on top of the aorta. A normal aorta comes down the right side of the body. So if you're laying on your left side, the baby is on the bottom and your aorta comes up over top, and so your blood flow for you is not obstructed. And I'm going to use the blanket here as a little mini bolster for my legs. She's being an attention seeker tonight, which is wonderful. Um, so I'm bringing the base of my spine up against the bolster. The soles of my feet come together. I have the blanket coming through, supporting. You could take a towel or a eye pillow and put it back behind your neck for some added comfort. And breathing into it. We're going to hold this 8:45, 8:46-ish. So that's 4 minutes. And if at any point this gets too intense on your hips, you can straighten your legs and bring them straight out with the bolster under the thigh. Gently bringing the knees in. I'm coming in to legs up the wall. Maybe you do legs up the sofa. And again, we're going to hold this for about 5 minutes tonight. So that's going to bring us about 10 of. Gently coming around, shoulders back and down. And then from here, gently bringing the feet down. And if you're pregnant, you're going to hold on your left side. Maybe you stretch flat out onto your back. Maybe you choose to be on your left side even if you're not pregnant. Gently wiggling our fingers and toes, stretching our arms up overhead. Bringing our knees into our chest, giving ourselves a hug. Rolling over onto the right side, pushing ourselves up one vertebrae at a time. Coming into easy cross leg, bringing our palms to our knees. Scanning through the body, feeling the differences between now and when we started. Bringing our palms up, connecting to the world around us. Bringing our hands to heart center. May the light within me salute the light within me. And when we are at this place, we are all the same. Namaste. Be happy, safe, and healthy until we meet again. Next Sunday night, 8 o'clock, if all goes as planned. Thank you. Thank you for coming out, Cindy, Ethel, Nina, Patty, Ricky, Renata. I'm trying to think of other people who throw me likes and don't necessarily have a great night.